Well, there were so many different times my mother came home from the hospital. It really depended on what hospital she was coming home from, what kind of medication she was on, and whether she was stabilized on the medication, what the experience was like having her come home from the hospital. Um, my grandma always tried to make sure that she was in a private hospital, but that didn't always work out. There were a few times when she was put in, back then it was called Reed Zone Center. It was the Chicago Public Hospital, Cook County Hospital, which was a horrible place. I'm sure she was beaten up and abused terribly. And when she came home, she was no better, probably a little worse than when she went in. And so she would come home very angry and introverted and still thinking people were following her, or that her psychiatrist is talking to her through the radio, or any number of things. Um, when she went into private hospitals, it depended on what medication she was put on. When I was very young, the medication of choice was Thorazine. So she would come home and it would make her so tired. She really had no affect when she was taking Thorazine. It was sort of like looking at a zombie. She would, almost like a lobotomy. She would just stare into space and have no reaction in particular. And this is why she was always in the back bedroom. She was just tired, and she would go to the bedroom and draw the blinds, and you wouldn't see her. So it was like being in the house by myself, because she just wasn't available. After a while, there were other kinds of medications. She had one doctor who insisted that she was bipolar, and this went on 8 years. And so she would start taking lithium, which would make her gain a lot of weight. But she was coherent, but she was not particularly rational. It didn't do anything for the hallucinations. And it would get out of whack very quickly. And then he would insist that it was her fault because she wasn't taking the medication properly. And he would not listen to any of us that, no, it's the wrong medication, because he thought that that cured everything. And then I think after that, she was on Haldol, which seemed to work a bit better, at least it would for a while. And so a lot of times she'd come home and she'd be herself, at least for a while, and until the medication became imbalanced and the entire cycle started again. And see, people always blamed her. They always said, it's because you don't like to take your medication and you're not taking it properly. But any little thing could throw her medication off. It could be stress at work. It could be, I don't know, maybe her period, who knows? Any little thing, any little hormonal imbalance, something she ate could throw her medication off, and then we'd start all over again.